Yeah, good morning. Or let's see, it's 12:36 where you are. It's 11:36 where I am. Good morning down here. Good afternoon up there. So let's see. You know, when I put the snapshot up that they tell you to put up with the video and everything like that, I try not to scare people too much. But what can I say? That's me. Anyhow, what do we have here? My big worry right now, and this may not sound that much, is that Trump is relatively quiet right now and has been for a few days. I mean, he's got these little outbursts and whatnot, but a problem with him now is that nobody's really paying a lot of attention to him right now. And that's really going to piss him off in the next couple of weeks. But, him being quiet is not a good thing. Really. For either side. So, a friend of mine and I were out walking our dogs this morning. And the topic of the shooting arose. And we both thought it was kind of funny. There's no scar, there's no nothing. This guy healed up in a couple of days. It's a bullet fragment. I expressed my opinion to him that I don't think he was an assassin. I think he was a mass shooter, or just a delusioned young man, And he said, well, and he was concerned that the shot was so easy to take. And I said, well, years ago I talked to, I had friends in the Secret Service. They used to gather in the bar I worked in, and I talked to them, and they said it's actually one of the easiest people in the world to assassinate. The problem's getting away with it. That's most of the time that's why they don't do it, because they can't get away with it. That goes back to the people that hired the shooter, everybody's going to jail or dying. Going to get shot. So it's basically a suicide mission. But it's suicide missions mean you're going to kill the person you want to kill. It usually happens, and then you're dead. But he's fun to talk to. He's got a beautiful dog. Lucy's like semi-boyfriend. And they get along, and I like this guy a lot. He's a really smart man. Oops, wait a minute. He might see this video. Uh-oh. I have to be careful what I say. Okay, so I'm looking at stuff I wrote. The Mexican government is claiming that the son of El Chapo, I guess they're saying it was an illegal kidnap that brought Mayo, the other big honcho down there in the drug trade, up here. That he turned him in. And I said, well, we all know that, that El Chapo's son did it. Now, I also know from watching these people over the years that there's an ulterior motive there. There's obviously something going on why he did it, but that's a story for another day. Now, they're saying also, I'm not sure what this entails, these Generation Z, they call these people. Now, I'm not really sure what that entails. Is that the next generation coming up, or what have you? They don't like politicians in general. They have no faith in the integrity of presidents or politicians. And I say, that's okay, I understand that. I walked away from politics for something like 20 years. I didn't vote, and then I sort of had to come back and vote to help my mom out and whatnot, and I did. And I dealt with other problems. I dealt with the draft. I dealt with Vietnam, that kind of stuff, and the Kennedy assassination. And I watched, I was I was after the Kennedy assassination. I watched these guys just use all these young people they had. Never listened to them, just used them, you know, because these kids were from everywhere, you know. They weren't educated politicians. They were, some cases, they were just a neighborhood kid, you know. And they didn't listen to these kids. And these kids had problems, and they had issues that the politicians would not listen to. You'd go to these committee meetings, county committee meetings, and all these us young people would be there. And the guys would go in the back room, in the kitchen or whatever, and close the door, you know, with the cigar smoke and everything. Trust me, cigar smoke. And it was, you know, one of those backroom deals, which I just, you know, eventually I got out of it and got away from it, and I couldn't bring myself to vote, you know. I just thought they were disgusting. But so I understand the Generation Z thing, you know, that they don't trust them. But the trick is you've got to use them. You know, you have a power in your hand that you don't fully understand, you know, because you don't trust these people. You don't understand the power that you have, you know. Now, if you're wealthy Generation Z, well, there's a lot, you have more power, you know, but the odds of you using it constructively are not good. People with money and power don't usually do a lot of good things, you know. They're self-centered. But if you're just a regular kid or young man, young woman, whatever, Generation Z person, you know, you get to use these people if you want for what you want. You just have to be careful how you do it. Remember about politics, all right? Politics is the art of compromise. It's how you compromise. It's the give and take. What you give in order to take what you want. You know what I mean? So be careful. I don't blame you for not trusting people, but you can use them to your advantage. So do so. You know? I had something else I want to talk about, but I forgot it. You know, that happens to me all the time. But I've been exposed to on YouTube and whatnot a lot of the old Trump sayings, and DeSantis is not DeSantis. Here I go. Mental fart. Trump's vice president, man, is just as lying and sneaky as any of the other Republicans are. Yeah, DeSantis is going to be the book burner, I think. He's out there. His state has got more books banned than you can possibly think. You can Google that if you want to find out about what books he does. You know, he banned some books by Neil Gaiman. He banned books by Orwell. And some other, which I don't understand. Half the books that are banned, I don't understand why. You know, I don't see anything. You know, I understand banning Mein Kampf, but it's not really. It's only banned in a few. It's banned in a lot of states. You know, I couldn't read it in high school. My brother got a book while he was in college, and I read it. And that's a massive read. In case you're wondering what that is, that's how Hitler came to power. You know. It's an interesting read, especially in today's world. But I don't know where you find it. I don't have it anymore. And I don't know where you get it. So you can try it on Amazon. I don't know whether they'll ship it to you. And it depends on what state you're in, because I know it's banned in a lot of states. You know, at this point in time, go read The Handmaid's Tales. You know, that's banned too in Florida, by the way. That's because that's part of what the Republicans want you to, the way they want to live, you know. Orwell's 1984 is another example of the Republican doctrines that are being put together right now under the guise of Project 2025. I know nobody really watches these things. I don't have, because I really don't have access to. First of all, I don't live in the United States, so you know, hey, What's he know? Well, just like if I was sitting home, I'd be doing the same thing I'm doing down here, wandering the computer and picking up the stories from CNN, MSNBC, CNN, ABC, Politico, and all these other places that I go to, to get information from that are free. I'm not in a position to pay for a lot of it, so and I formulate opinions, and that's all I do. When I get on here, it's basically an opinion or my interpretation of what someone is saying or doing. Now, with Donald Trump, we used to call some kid that lied about you or something back in school, you'd call, "You're a pathological liar," because we thought the name sounded funny, It was, hey, it's a strange word, why not? Well, folks, I think that it's probably truer now, dealing with Donald Trump, than it ever was before. And that the deal with it is that these relatively nice people at one point in time in their lives actually believe it. Now, I have a problem with the women that support Donald Trump. He's not a movie star. He's a fat, ugly dickhead. So I don't know what you're going around supporting him for, because he's not. You're not going to get anything that you want out of this deal. If that's loyalty to your husband, then sorry about that. You've probably been, probably somebody that they were abused when you call the cops. It's really pitiful that you sit there and you allow these men to come into your lives and tell you what to do. A lot of it is religion, and I've heard stories that there will be three basic religions in the next 30 years: Christianity, Islam, and what was the other one? Jewish. Yeah. So, I don't know about what the Buddhists are going to do. They're pretty big, but for some reason they don't seem to be angry enough or political enough to gain the control that they want, I'm not so sure about that, but if you go to New Jersey and look at the Indian population that's there from India, and you'll see something different. Me, I'm kind of like a Native American type religions. I believe nature. I believe more in nature and stuff like that. A little bit of Buddhism. My brother was leaning towards Buddhism before he passed away, and I kind of think that's okay, But I don't listen to these people. I don't listen to people what they say. Because I don't trust anybody that speaks religion to me. I've seen too many bad priests with various problems, from sexual problems to gambling problems to just being weird. So I'm not real fond of Christianity. When you turn on the TV and you watch these guys building these huge TV evangelists. You ever seen one of those guys? Give me your money, people. The only ones that make money are it's like a pyramid scheme. The more people you bring in, the higher up you get. That's where you start to make money. If you walk into a religion and they say this religion's going to help you with your lives, with your jobs, and everything. No, it's not. The one thing about religion that somebody said to me that I got in Catholic school was that God helps those who help themselves. Now, if you remember that, then you can be okay, because you got to understand that nobody's going to give you shit in this world. Okay? You think your mother's giving you stuff? She wants you to take out the garbage. So listen, coming up on the 15-minute mark, and you know me, I hit 15 minutes, my mind explodes. So we'll be around tomorrow, near the same time. You know, if I could do this every day at the same time, I'd go back to doing it live. You could talk to me, but it's just too difficult for me to promise you that I'll do it on a daily basis live, all right? So if you're looking for me, you look around 11 o'clock in the morning, and you can check my video. You check my account, and you see if there's a live video going on, or if it's just one of these I'm posting, you know? Anyhow, I'll see you tomorrow.